That is going to wrap up the news portion of the broadcast, but I promise you, the best is yet to come. Howard Chen has his face paint on, league titles, playoff spots, everything on the line. Week 9 of Hardcore Football starts right now.
Toledo Hardcore Football is brought to you by Broganstown Chrysler Jeep Dodge, Little Caesars Pizza, and Central Catholic High School. Now, here's Howard Chen with all of tonight's action.
And welcome into one of the final hardcore football shows of the year, and it's that way because the regular season is winding down. Games are becoming more important. Games like Toledo Christian, Northwood, TAC title on the line, both teams with the same exact record. Zach Bermajo on the sideline receiving a pep talk. Well, how about Toledo Christian up 7-0. Nick Ridenauer, though, fumbles the ball. Northwood recovers. Next play, they would take advantage of that. Bermajo. Apparently that pep talk worked. This guy's a stud. 9-yard score up the middle after the 2-point conversion. It was 8-7 Rangers. Later in the second, Mike Prothero, another running back, just like Bermajo, taking it 35 yards down to the Toledo Christian 1-yard line. He would score in the very next play, 16-7 Northwood. Then, end of the second quarter, right now, to Zach Broombaugh, who hooked and laddered to Brandon Eldred. Fancy play down the left sideline, 59 yards, touchdown TC. Down 16-14, only 2 points at the half. No more scoring until the fourth quarter. For Toledo Christian, right now, are taking to the air to Mr. Zach Broombaugh again. 32-yard touchdown. Toledo Christian beats Northwood for the first time in 4 years, 20-16.
Huge for our team, huge for the football program. These guys, you know what? I'm just amazed by their tenacity out here and how they did a terrific job. I'm just so proud of them.
This is one of the greatest football moment in my life and in our team's life, our school's history and everything. This is awesome.
They made the plays when they had to. They held on the ball at the end of the game, got a couple first downs, and kind of ran us out of time and put some pressure on us and took us out of what we do well. So you got to give credit to them. I mean, they played better than we did tonight, won the game.
So, congratulations to Toledo Christian for winning at least a share of the TAC title. One good game down, one more Jim White Honda Game of the Week poll to go. St. John Central, you know that's big. Maumee Peaburg, that's another good matchup. Make your pick at foxtoledo.com. The winner's announced on Wednesday night. But Whitmer's also on that Game of the Week list because next week could finish the Panthers' perfect run through the City League. But first things first, Bowser. And recheck out the defense first. Fumble by number 25, Nathan Hawley, which leads to a 5-yard run by Justin Rodriguez. Whitmer up 14, still in the second quarter. Nice throw by Bowser, but an even nicer hit by Mark Myers, hardcore hit candidate. Jody Webb, he was the big star of the day, big star of the year. He had 3 TDs, including 1 receiving. Whitmer wins 55-8. Over at Central, Irish hosting Akron-based Bechtel. They're up 9-0 midway through the second quarter. Caleb Goings finds the left corner, and he gets Goings. 14 yards to the 14. 3 plays later, Goings, again, he gets it. 16-0 Central Catholic after a Bechtel score made it 16-7. The very next play from scrimmage, Amir Edwards, only a sophomore, threw a huge hole up the middle after some great blocking. 65 yards of distance. Irish led 23-7 at the half. They win 30-13. Well, league titles, playoff positioning, lots of games coming up where all that matters. Stay tuned for more hardcore football. Well, before last Friday, Clyde was the top team in the state in Division III. That all changed when they lost to Perkins. So in the polls, they dropped to 8th, but in the rankings that really matter, the ones for playoff positioning, they're 3rd in their region at Oak Harbor's 4th. Same region. Tonight, they were on the same field. Clyde fans obviously excited for that matchup. First play of the game, Clyde on their own 27-yard line. Ryan Meyer attempts to hand off to Jordan Colson, but the ball's dropped and recovered by Oak Harbor, and that would set up a field goal to make it 3-0 for O to the H. But Clyde would answer back. 5 minutes left in the first quarter, 3rd and 1. Colson goes 21 yards for the score. Clyde's up 7-3. Second quarter. On first down, Clyde on the Oak Harbor 22-yard line. Justin Radloff goes 18 yards. However, Oak Harbor holds the Flyers to 3 points on that possession, 10-3. Final score of that game, 26-17. Clyde gets the big win. Another huge game taking place at Mohawk. Both the Warriors and St. Joe are tied atop the Midland standings. Playoff-wise, Mohawk really needs this. Pretty cool deal early on, checking out someone flying in onto the field. Caleb Coyle breaking free, 60 yards. All of a sudden, he just gets faster. That's not really natural, but trust me, he was pretty fast. Gets all the way down to 1 yard line. That was set of Kyle Parker, the quarterback, to punch it in to make the score 14-12. St. Joe at the half. Second half defense got involved. Watch Levi Eddington as he, on this very, very long pass, gets the INT. And he's not only going to get the INT, he returns at 54 yards. Warriors top the streaks tonight. Big win for them, 25-14. More playoff positionings. Ross is 5th in their D1 region right now, which means they need to keep winning. Third quarter, Ross up 7-3 on second down, and the connection made Tyler Wolf to Skylar Reffner for 11 yards. The attempted field goal, though, it hits the upright. No good. Fourth quarter, on third down, Tyler Trotwine, 44 yards, no fast forwarding needed. That put Fremont Ross up 14-3. They go on to win 28-3. Well, something weird happened to Patrick Henry last week. They lost. They hadn't done that in their previous 27 regular season games. But at least they lost to a good team, which would be Archbold. So they're still pretty much in the playoffs, maybe even better right now. They're hungry for redemption, which means not good news for Eastwood. 22-zip already for the Patriots and Casey Spence. He had a big game tonight. 5 yards for the score, 30-0, Patrick Henry. Eastwood trying to come back. Matt Klink and Nathan Dix. Nice play by Dix to keep his feet inbounds along the right sideline. 19-yard touchdown for Eastwood, but the Patriots tonight just too strong. Lucas Rosebrook. Tough run right here. Oh, absorbs the impact, tumbles into the end zone. Patrick Henry wins 38-14. As for Division II, Maumee's in right now, but they need to keep winning to stay in. Tonight against Springfield, it was the Jake Schneider show. First, let's check out his passing. Third quarter is 14-7. Schneider, long distance, 80 yards to Robbie Cole. Maumee leading 21-7. Well, how about Schneider's running? Let's check this out real quick. Schneider, he keeps it, and he's going to go for about 50 yards right here. 3 TDs passing for him, 147 yards rushing, and Maumee gets the win, 28-14. More NLL. Perrysburg playing Northview. Midway through the first quarter, it's Micah Carter from about 5 yards away, puts Perrysburg on the board, 7-zip. Only 15 seconds later, it's Northview's turn, right? Not really, because Brandon Hall gets picked off by Jared Mantos. 14-0 after the pick six. Perrysburg rolls 34-14. Lots of playoff talk, I know, but there's more coming up. St. John's right now is a bubble team. Can they maintain and stay in the playoff picture? Stay tuned. Hardcore Football. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hardcore Football. St. John's is unquestionably one of the area's most loaded teams talent-wise. And when one recruit gets noticed, other talented teammates also pop up on the radar, which is exactly what happened in the case of the Titans' Zach Steinmetz, the focus of this week's Hardcore Recruiting Minute. All sorts of schools checked out Jack Miller, who ended up choosing Michigan. Soon word spread about another Titan talent, Zach Steinmetz.
It's happened so fast, because saw Jack getting realized, and then right after that I started getting realized, and it was kind of like, well, I have opportunity to go to college to play a sport, and it's just all surreal.
Zach's always been the type to shun the spotlight, preferring the role of what he calls the scrappy dude. But it's his scrappiness and size that's gotten him noticed and recruited as a tight end.
I think he's an ideal prospect there because he's got the size to play inside on the line, and yet he can still, like we do, we flex him out a lot too as well. So, he definitely has the ability to do both, which makes him a good commodity.
Zach tells us 3 schools, Kent State, Air Force, and Ball State, have offered so far, and Bowling Green is coming at him hard.
I remember the first offer I got was Kent State. Coach B called me out of class and told me, and I immediately called my dad, and I was just so happy.
Because getting noticed isn't what he's all about, and that's why he is getting noticed. And Zach and his St. John's teammates, they're 7th in points right now, which means they need to keep winning to play on, but they didn't play well early. Fumble off the opening kickoff, recovered by Wade High School's Jermaine Walker deep in Titan territory. On that drive, DJ Bonds seems to bail St. John's out of trouble, but he would end up getting stripped by Devontae Hughes. So 2 early fumbles for St. John's, except Waite would not score. No points off those turnovers. Instead, with the score now 7-0 Titans, Brogan Roback scrambling, finding perfectly 37-yard bomb to Joe Roby, makes it 14-0. St. John's in control. They go on to win the ball game 42-6. Well, in a couple of weeks, voters head to the polls to decide on a variety of issues, including potential funding available for extracurricular activities at Toledo public schools. That, of course, includes sports. There's no more freshman football. Could varsity sports be next? At Rogers High School, it's a reality that hits way too close to home. Here's Joe Rognoski.
Well, let's keep a lot of people off the streets, keep a lot of people out of trouble. Some people do good in school just to play football.
But football here at Rogers and other TPS schools is up against a giant block.
Run him, gotta run him.
Budget concerns have already clipped the freshman team.
Good, Tay, good, Tay.
It's really affected our freshman program, as far as how many freshmen we've had with this group. We've got about 65 kids left in our program, and only 5 or 6 of them are freshmen, so it's already taken its toll on us.
Rick Rios is the head coach.
Got nobody in the flat over here.
We have no idea what's going to go on in the future.
It's an uncertainty that grows with each passing practice.
What do you think will be next year? Just, 6, 7 teams that are left will just, still play City League, or how will that work with playoffs and points and all that?
It's all in limbo, so it's really hard to answer that. But, we're going to have the City League as it is with just the Toledo Public Schools. And
for some, this is their only choice.
Yeah, that's bad. That's not a good cut. I think that all the young kids should have a chance to play football.
Throughout the years, Rogers High School has not only produced some great teams, but some great players as well. From the basketball court in the 60s and Steve Mix to the football field and Fred Davis in the 2000s.
It's important to us. It's important to us of helping these kids become better men and seeing what they do after Rogers High School.
But for now,
all we can do is take care of the now and see what happens.
And hope administrators aren't forced to throw away an entire team of players.
Oh, come on, make a play, baby.
Coaches.
You drop straight back, Jalen.
And what, at least for now, is a long-lasting history.
But we've heard a lot of rumblings about, them cutting a lot more stuff, if that levy goes down, if that happens and we don't have varsity football or varsity sports, it's scary to think of what our school system and what the communities are going to look like.
At Rogers High School, Joe Rognoski, Hardcore Football.
And hopefully not too many kids transfer from schools such as Rogers. Well, history could be made tonight just across the border in Bedford, Michigan. Some serious mule muscle is coming up right after the break. Stick around. Bedford has never won 9 regular season games ever. That could change tonight. They're an easy team to root for, especially if you've met their head coach, Jeff Wood, and their quarterback, Jared Kajawa, who's also a stud baseball player. Quarterback keeper, 44 yards to the house. Mules back up 7 points, 34-27. Next drive, same guy, Mr. Kajawa. Another 6 points for him. He had 326 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. Bedford makes history. They win 54-34. So congratulations to Bedford, where it's been quite the year. Win a contest, get a new weight room, and now a 9-0 season. That is some good stuff. What's also good stuff is our hardcore hits. We say the best for last. And here it is as we say good night. Check it out. Mr. Mike Thompson's artwork right here.
Go! Contact! Yeah, Mike! Go!